Hi guys, back again. I thought I'd do the half-time kind of review of what I've seen. Been watching the game. I think it looks like a typical KG affair, doesn't it, in the European tie? We've not been particularly good. I think we look extremely disjointed at the back. Eric Bailly, he's very rash. He always dives in. Could have given away a penalty. Bundled into a header to lose a free kick. And I think that coincides with Romero just staying on his line too much. Maguire not really sure whether he should command his area or not. And then you've got Wan-Bissaka and Brandon Williams that are obviously tucking in very narrow, not providing a lot of overlapping runs. When they do, we get a good cross in. Martial off the chest, straight to the goalkeeper. Brandon, a bit of interchange down the left-hand side. I think Maguire needs to just stand up a bit more. Needs to lead a bit better. Pogba's too deep. He comes so deep that there's just so much then to do further down the line, isn't there? Further down the pitch into the thirds. And if Bruno goes running in behind, there's literally no one just in behind Martial. So we're losing that penetration from there. Fred dropping in between the centre-backs, I thought he started poorly. Gave away the pass, which nearly led to one of their goals. If we're really trying to push through with this splitting the centre-backs mentality, we've got to have players on the ball that can pass confidently, you would have thought. Free kicks very wasteful. Why are we pinging it to the back post all the time? That seems very Route 1 Marrow and Fellaini-esque, and it hasn't worked, so we need to change it. I think Martial has done well in fits and starts. He looks fairly likely and fairly busy. Marcus keeps coming inside and loves to unleash just shots from crazy positions, but at least he's been a bit more mobile today and made runs in behind. Greenwood for me has been the best player again. Left foot, right foot, he's touching the ball away from play, so he's not getting into trouble, linking up really nicely. And obviously the goal he scored that was offside was fantastic. So first half not brilliant. I think it's a reality check. Copenhagen in the Europa League quarter-final is probably our level currently. And those of us, me included, that are thinking towards the Champions League next year, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with this current 11, let alone the squad depth. So yeah, half-time thoughts are I think we'll still win, but we just look very, very sluggish, very slow. So hopefully the second half we'll see an improvement. So there we are, guys, full time. 1-0 to Manchester United in the end. Not quite the 3-1 I was expecting, but we kept a clean sheet, which I suppose is a good thing. I was frantically writing down notes during the game, and my iPad's literally got pages of it. So I'm just going to try and condense this into something that doesn't last for 15 years, because I know we've all got lives to lead. So immediately after the second half kicked off, I thought Ollie had changed what I expected to see. So the pressing was higher. We were 10-15 yards further up the pitch. So when it broke down, obviously we were closer to the defence, and we could kind of exploit our pace and the gaps that were formed from there, and the fact that they weren't set. So I thought that was really nice, and I thought Brandon and Aaron Wan-Bissaka joined the attacks to be really more effective doing that. So they're crossing over, they were going in behind that Wan-Bissaka interchange. I think it was, who was it with? Was it Paul or Bruno that slid him in? Crossed to the back stick. Rashford should be filling in there for me. It's criminal. I think if you are a wide striker, you have to fill in narrow towards the back post for those reasons. He was stood, if you watch that, when Wan-Bissaka crossed it across the box, he stood about 15 yards from goal. That is a tap-in. He's a striker. We argue he could be a number 9. Is he sniffing a chance there? I don't think he is. Has Ollie told him to do that? Definitely not. So, not brilliant. Pogba was higher. A huge difference. Pogba played higher next to Bruno. So he was able to intricately play, use his power, use his ability to turn quickly and feed people in. The downside with Pogba for me is he was floating. So you had Matic at the base, or Fred, Bruno operating up here, and Pogba was kind of in between just here. So he wasn't supporting Fred or Matic down here across the defence, and he wasn't really supporting Bruno. So at times you had 3 players in kind of like a straight line in the midfield, so they would double up and just play triangles around, and then they'd instantly get on our back 4, which wasn't great. Fred obviously got a lot of joy, really busy, harassed loads, really good passer, but he is not a CDM. He is not a CDM, and he's now 27, so retraining him to do that, it's not going to happen. Scott's got a bit of a chance, but I still don't think he's going to be good enough to do it. Bring Matic on. Yeah, it wasn't brilliant, but naturally he just sat in front of the back two, and I think it just made them a bit calmer. Obviously, with Lindelof coming on as well, for Bailly, who so erratic. Lindelof again, that wonderful interception right at the end, extra time. If that's Bailly, he's sliding on the floor, and it's probably going to cost us a penalty, and that's the difference. That's Manchester United. You know, I love the blood and guts of Bailly, but that's not a centre back we need. We need someone that's really composed, and that's what Lindelof's got. I'll come on to Marcus in a minute, but Greenwood, fantastic. Left foot strike off the post. Is he going to be our new number 9? And the reason I say this, and I've debated this with one of my friends quite a lot, when Sancho arrives, and he is arriving, I personally think Marcus Rashford is going to be the one that's in trouble, that will be moved out of the team. Because I think Martial could go to the left. As we saw today, his best work was coming in from the left, driving it full-back, shooting from distance. Fantastic. Unbelievable feet. Rashford has not got the feet. He knocks and runs. Okay? Martial is so good in tight spaces. Greenwood can shoot with the left and the right foot, scored one with his right and hit the post with his left. Literally identical strikes, really. And then you'll have Sancho that can operate on the right. With the way Marcus is playing at the moment, and what's the excuse? He had a horrific back injury, I understand that. But he had, 5 months recovery? He was due back in April. We didn't play until June. So where's the excuse? He's not running at people as much anymore. His passing goes from being fantastic to erratic in seconds. He shoots from 30 yards on the angle, sometimes great, sometimes awful. His free kicks. He's just very inconsistent at the moment, and I think with Rashford, he's a moments player, isn't he? 1 minute he'll be fantastic, 1 minute he won't. But that's not reliable. We need players that are reliable. With Greenwood, I know he'll get the ball and give it. And when he's in a position to shoot, he's going to shoot. Martial can sometimes drift in and out of games, but more often than not, you'll get some really good attacking movements from him, and he'll cause a problem. A la the penalty, our goal that won the game. So I think Rashford is going to be the one in trouble if Sancho comes in, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The high press works for us. Why aren't we doing it from the first minute? Ollie keeps going on about our fitness is fantastic, our stamina's brilliant, and I want us to be the fittest team on the pitch. Then why aren't we doing that from the first minute? It wasn't until after the first drinks break, 22 minutes in, when we started to play a bit better, and it wasn't until the start of the second half where we pressed higher up the park. If we are so fit, we should be doing that from the beginning. We are not good enough to play slower and through the thirds, because I don't think we've currently got a formation that allows it to prosper. And I think at the minute, we've got really explosive players that are good with space in behind, like a Marcus Rashford. So I think we need to utilise that so much better than we are, and it's just not good enough at the minute. The fact that Matic and Lindelof had to come on tells you everything you need to know. No attacking changes. Who can we bring on? Barring Mata, who was fantastic when he came on, by the way. That's one of the reasons why I would never get rid of him. Older player, could potentially be one of our ambassadors when he quits in a few years' time. Yeah, he's on a bit of a wage, but not too bad. Never going to cause a problem. Keep Mata. But Matic and Lindelof coming on just give us a bit more composure. They should not be coming on when we are 0-0 in a Europa League game. And that says everything you need to know about the players who started. I like Fred, but he is not a CDM. Where does he play? In our starting 11, do you drop Bruno? Do you drop Pogba? You tell me, would you keep Fred? And I like Fred. I really rate him, and he was our best player of the season. But the way we look like we want to play, with one man sitting in front of our back four, like a Matic, Fred cannot do that. So what does he do? I don't know. I don't think he's a United player. He's too erratic. There's no control in our team at the minute, and I think that's because Pogba was kind of drifting between two positions. He doesn't control games enough for me. At Juventus, phenomenal. Manchester United, he'll have a wonderful game 1 minute, and then he'll be average the next. Where is this quality consistently from Paul Pogba? And I really like Paul Pogba. He is one of our best players. But how often do we see it? Really controlling games? Or is he just not that player? Is he just the sprinkling on top of the ice cream that makes your summer's day that much better? Well, if it's too hot and the ice cream melts, then you're left with nothing. So where's the substance, if you know what I'm saying? Martial sublime towards the end. Defence splitting runs, but Copenhagen were dead. They were dead on their feet, and we just exploited that because of our squad depth that ironically hasn't been good enough in the Premier League but is good enough in the Europa League. So 1-0, we're through. Job done is literally all you can say about that. But nothing too more exciting than that. We're going to have to be much better in the semi-finals. But not just that. I look ahead to next season. I want a Champions League challenging team. Too much to ask? Maybe. I want a Premier League team that's going to be 10, 15 points closer to City. Too much to ask? Maybe. But from what I saw tonight, I don't see it. Against really top sides, at the minute, we just look like we may struggle. So I think there's a few positions we need to strengthen, as we all know. And it might be a case of just settling for something less than expected. But I know as United fans we get carried away, but I think it might just be a case of, do you know what, tonight, showing the standard that we may be at. And, you know, we're through, we march on to the semis. Hopefully we can get to the final and win it. So 1-0, obviously, I'm glad we won. But I'm not one of these fans to get carried away, and I'm not one of these fans to get depressed. We got the job done. That's all you can say. So thanks very much for watching the review. On to the next game on the semi-finals, which is next week. So I'll see you then. Hopefully going to get a video out before then. When I'm looking at kind of Frank Lampard, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Mikel Arteta. So that'd be an interesting one to watch. So if you can you please subscribe to the channel, because all the support is really helpful for me. And once again, thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you again soon. Please hit that button there. Subscribe.